Now, the poll bugle for 2022 Uttar Pradesh Assembly elections already been sounded. Union Home Minister Amit Shah laid the foundation stone of the Vindhya Varsini corridor project in Mirzapur. Later in the evening, he will be offering prayers at the Kashi Vishwanath temple. Before Mirzapur, Union Home Minister Amit Shah was in Lucknow, laid the foundation stone for Uttar Pradesh Institute of Forensic Sciences. In fact, Amit Shah's visit comes right at a time when the Saffron Party has maximized its preparations for the big Uttar Pradesh Mahayuddh, the assembly elections coming in just a year's time. India Today has now accessed the blueprint of its plan to better its 2017 feat in Uttar Pradesh. BJP has zeroed in on 80 assembly seats, which have never been won by it. Assembly seats in Rai Bareli, Akbarpur, Etawah are on the BJP's radar this time.
और जो सपना देख रहे हैं उनको मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि भैया फिर से एक बार करारी हार का मन बना लो। यहां भारतीय जनता पार्टी की प्रचंड बहुमत से सरकार बनने है। मित्रों, उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर योगी जी के नेतृत्व में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ने जो परिवर्तन लाया है, मुझे पूरा भरोसा है कि गत चुनाव की तरह ही इतने प्रचंड बहुमत के साथ फिर से यहां कमल की सरकार बनने जा रही है। 22 करोड़ की आबादी, शायद पूरे यूरोप से ज्यादा आबादी अपने उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर है। आज वैक्सीनेशन में भी उत्तर प्रदेश देश में सबसे पहले है, बेड बनाने भी सबसे आगे है, टेस्टिंग में सबसे आगे है और उत्तर प्रदेश के नागरिकों को सुरक्षा देने में भी आज आगे है। मैं उत्तर प्रदेश के चप्पे चप्पे में घुमा हूं। 2013 से 2019 तक उत्तर प्रदेश का मैंने दौरा किया है। मैं उत्तर प्रदेश की जनता को जानता हूं। हमने जो 2017 में वादे किए थे, सारे के सारे वादे पूरे कर उत्तर प्रदेश की जनता का आशीर्वाद लेने के लिए हम जाएंगे।
Well, there you have it. Home Minister Amit Shah, very confident with conviction, says they're going to come with a whopping majority this time as well. Uttar Pradesh elections, already the BJP on war footing, now currently inaugurating some developmental projects in the state, a series of projects that have been flagged off. Here you heard Home Minister Amit Shah, while he's at Mirzapur, spoke now, speaking extensively of the preparations that the BJP government is carrying out and also listing out the achievements on COVID-19 crisis and the fight that the UP government has put out. In fact, testing in terms of tracking and several other initiatives that the government has taken in the state, he's been listing out, saying this time they will be winning this assembly elections with a whopping majority. Now, caste politics peaks just before 2022 Uttar Pradesh Assembly elections there. Whether BSP or BJP or the Congress, each party is now trying to woo the Brahmin voters. In the latest, BSP has now launched a scathing attack on BJP, terming the Saffron Party as Brahmin killer. Here's more on that.
With less than a year for Uttar Pradesh Assembly elections, Brahmin votes are in full demand. BSP, SP and Congress are trying to woo the community. Bahujan Samaj Party is facing existential crisis ahead of 2022 Assembly polls. While addressing a Brahmin meet in Amethi, BSP Rajya Sabha MP Satish Chandra Mishra launched a scathing attack on Yogi government for targeting and oppressing Brahmins in the state.
देखा किस तरीके से ब्राह्मण समाज के एक व्यक्ति को जब मारा इन्होंने, और मारा भी कानून, कोई आदेश नहीं, सरकारी आदेश नहीं है, हाईकोर्ट का आदेश नहीं है, न्यायालय में नहीं ले गए, लेकिन गाड़ी पलटती है, मार देते हैं। ठीक है, आप कहते हैं कि उसने गलत काम किया था, लेकिन बाकी लोगों ने क्या किया था?
Glorification of gangster Vikas Dubey has led to strong counter-attack from not just ruling BJP but also Samajwadi Party and Congress.
सुश्री मायावती जी के आइकॉन कभी मुख्तार अंसारी होते हैं तो कभी विकास दुबे होते हैं। उत्तर प्रदेश में अपराधियों के विरुद्ध और उनके संपत्ति के विरुद्ध जो अभियान चल रहा है, उससे दोनों दल व्यथित हैं।
अब चुनाव आ गए हैं तो ये कहीं न कहीं इन सारी जातियों को, धर्मों को एक दूसरे से लड़ा करके चुनाव लड़ना चाहते हैं। पिछले 5 साल में जनता ये जरूर पूछेगी आदरणीय मिश्रा जी, सुश्री मायावती जी, कि आपने जनता के हितों की कितनी लड़ाई लड़ी।
बहुजन समाज पार्टी अब ब्राह्मणों के हित की बात कर रही है। मुझे लगता है जब अन्याय हो रहा था उनके खिलाफ, तब सिर्फ समाजवादी पार्टी बोल रही थी, सड़क से लेकर सदन तक, तभी सारे दल नहीं दिखाई दे रहे थे।
BSP is repeating its strategy of 2007 assembly polls to achieve a majority in the state by consolidating Brahmin votes. The party has lined up Brahmin Sammelans in the coming weeks across the state. BSP has also vowed to expedite the construction work of Ram Temple. BSP is clearly fishing in troubled waters, and 2007 encore is an uphill task due to dearth of Brahmin leaders in BSP.
The opposition, including BJP, are also questioning that this is the same Mayawati who had sentiments in Mukhtar Ansari case or Vikas Dubey case, and now seeing the Uttar Pradesh elections on the doors, they are trying to woo the Brahmin voters and trying to form the government with the help of Dalits and Brahmins. With cameraman Sanjay Samar Srivastava for India Today.
Now, after relaxing COVID restrictions for 3 days for Bakrid, Kerala government has now warned against dropping the guard for the upcoming Onam festivities. The State Health Minister, Veena George, said that the state needs to be cautious because Delta variant is spreading fast. She added that the decision on any possible relaxation by the state for Onam will have to be taken collectively. George added that the final call will be taken by Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan-led COVID Management Committee after consulting with all departments. Now, Thiruvo Onam, or the most auspicious day of the Onam, will be falling on the 21st of August, which is Saturday. Will witness impact of full weekend lockdown if the state government doesn't relax curbs. In fact, the state government had relaxed strict curbs, COVID curbs, for 3 days on the occasion of Bakrid and drew flack from the Supreme Court and others as well. The top court, however, didn't stop relaxation, saying that it is too late to stop the state's decision, while relief in COVID lockdown for Bakrid was already underway. Now, Kerala is leading the number of fresh COVID cases in India and constantly reporting over 20,000 cases, which is more than half of the total cases reported in India.
അതിലൊരു കൂട്ടായ തീരുമാനമാണ് സംസ്ഥാന സർക്കാർ എടുക്കുന്നത്. ബഹുമാനപ്പെട്ട മുഖ്യമന്ത്രിയുടെ നേതൃത്വത്തിലുള്ള കോവിഡ് റിവ്യൂ കമ്മിറ്റി ഇത് സംബന്ധിച്ച കാര്യങ്ങൾ എല്ലാവരും അടങ്ങുന്ന കോവിഡ് വിദഗ്ധ സമിതിയും വകുപ്പുകളെല്ലാം അടങ്ങുന്ന സമിതി ഇത് പരിശോധിച്ചിട്ടാണ് ഒരു കൂട്ടായ തീരുമാനത്തിൻ്റെ അടിസ്ഥാനത്തിലാണ് തീരുമാനം എടുക്കുക. ഇവിടെ നമ്മൾ കാണേണ്ട ഒരു പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട കാര്യമുണ്ട്. ഇപ്പം എന്തുകൊണ്ട് കേരളത്തിൽ ഈ ഘട്ടത്തിൽ നമ്മൾ കൂടുതൽ ജാഗ്രത പുലർത്തണം എന്നത് സംബന്ധിച്ച ഒരു പ്രധാന കാര്യം ഡെൽറ്റ വേരിയൻ്റാണ് നമ്മുടെ ഈ രോഗവ്യാപനത്തിന് 2ാം തരംഗത്തിൽ കാരണമായിട്ടുള്ളത്. ഡെൽറ്റ വേരിയൻ്റ് വളരെ വേഗം വ്യാപിക്കുന്ന ഒരു വകഭേദമാണ്, കൊറോണ വൈറസിൻ്റെ വകഭേദമാണ്. വളരെ പെട്ടെന്ന് വ്യാപിക്കും. ഇപ്പോൾ കഴിഞ്ഞ ദിവസം തന്നെ ഇതിനെ സംബന്ധിച്ചുള്ള ദേശീയ തലത്തിലുള്ള വിദഗ്ധർ തന്നെ പറഞ്ഞ അഭിപ്രായങ്ങൾ നിങ്ങൾ എല്ലാവരും കണ്ടിട്ടുള്ളതാണ്.
Now, the development of the second shot of Sputnik V vaccine has hit a technical roadblock here in India, according to sources. This may just result in a delay in adding more doses to India's vaccination target. Milan Sharma with more on that. Let's take a listen.
The third vaccine to get emergency nod in India, Russia's Sputnik V, is seen as a hope for India's vaccination drive. But several months later, makers of Sputnik V have hit a roadblock. Government sources informed India Today that the developers are finding it difficult to make a second shot. The second component of the vaccine is harder to manufacture because of its design as an adenovirus vector-based vaccine. Unlike other vaccines which use the same composition of doses for the first and the second shot, Sputnik V uses 2 different components in its COVID vaccine, using 2 different adenovirus vectors. While AD26 is the main vaccine, AD5 is a booster shot which is given 21 days or 3 weeks apart. The Russian Direct Investment Fund, however, has denied it, stating that reports about delays in production of the second component of Sputnik V in India based on anonymous sources are incorrect. A number of RDIF partners in India have already produced the second component batches, which are undergoing verification at the Gamaleya Center in Russia. The RDIF plans to accelerate deliveries of the Sputnik V and Sputnik Light to India in August. But even the Sputnik Light hit a regulatory wall. Dr. Reddy's proposal for an emergency use authorization and phase 3 clinical trial protocol for Sputnik Light, the one-dose version of Sputnik V, was not approved by a drug regulator, the DCGI, citing lack of justification to do a similar trial again. Serum Institute of India, the world's biggest vaccine producer, Gland Pharma, Hetero Biopharma, Panakia Biotech, Stelis Biopharma, Warchow Biotech and Morpen Laboratories working to produce the vaccine. Despite Sputnik V having tied up with experienced vaccine manufacturers for production of doses in India, the full rollout of the Russian vaccine has been affected. Projected estimates of doses expected from the Sputnik V was pegged at 10 crore between August and December 2021. Which was lowered from an earlier optimistic estimate of 15.6 crore doses. Only a little over 4,44,638 doses of Sputnik V vaccine have been administered in India, according to the data on the CoWIN platform on 30th July. At present, all Sputnik V vaccines being given in India are being imported from Russia by Dr. Reddy's. Dr. Reddy's spokesperson said, and I quote here, "We have received 31.5 lakh doses of component 1 and 4.5 lakh doses of component 2 of the Sputnik V vaccine in India. We are working closely with the RDIF to ramp up supplies."
India is still heavily dependent on imports of the Russian vaccine that is being administered in the country. The production was supposed to be ramped up by July, but the timeline has been further shifted to September now by the Sputnik V makers. With Nasir Khan, this is